Okay, welcome everyone. Here we go. You've taken the first step to make the decision to identify challenges and obstacles that are impacting your life. And we are now going to go through the process of figuring out how to get from this pain island situation and how we can easily get to pleasure island. So let's create your vision and your dream come true. So if you don't already have a pen and paper, go ahead and pause this and I'll make a funny face so that I'm stuck. You got this funny face on your screen. It doesn't take any effort on my part. It happens all the time. Um, but also, and I've sent you exercises that you can print out, and I will walk you through them. But if you already have the printout, then you can go ahead and do the exercise. None of these should take more than 10 minutes. So the ideal way to get through this would be to listen to this video, and you can back it up or pause it at any point that's right for you, that's a comfortable speed for you. Then pause it, make sure you have the exercise and the worksheets that you need, and then go through and I'll either guide you, listen to the video as I guide you through the exercise, and or pause it, set a timer for 10 minutes. Anything beyond 10 minutes in these exercises does not give you anything. It's beyond the law of diminishing returns. So what I want to know is the first things that come to mind, and that's going to be what makes the difference. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. One of the first things that I do with my clients is I work with them by developing a confidence assessment. And what we do together is, well, that'll show me. You should have seen all of these slides. We're going to breeze through them just as a refresher course. These are the emotions that you may be feeling right now that you're going to know by the end of this course how to move through easily and actually have them help you build your resilience so that they strengthen you and your heart, and you can almost laugh at them because you'll be able to choose where you go on your emotional GPS. All right, so remember, here are the 7 steps to the life worth living. Don't get involved in dangerous or risky behaviors. You've made the choice to find a guide to help you on the way. Congratulations and well done. Okay, here we go. So the first thing that we're going to do today is work on building a confidence assessment. And really, this confidence assessment is a tool for you to determine what you've already put in place and where you need to focus your energy first to re-stabilize yourself. I talk about the value of stretching your strengths and strengthening your weaknesses for proper balance. And this is a beautiful tool to do at the beginning of this exercise of the life worth living process, because it's going to give you a benchmark. So be honest with yourself. And what we'll do is we'll go through, and if you've printed out the confidence assessment, realize that I have now made this as a template, and you can write in what you need to write in to make it perfectly applicable to you. This is a tool for you. I can guess most of what you might be going through, but this is your tool for you. You're the only one who knows all of what you've gone through. So realize that this is your tool for you, because at some point you will start to wish for more. And when you're ready to honor what grief holds for you, the next phase is to assess where you are at in different aspects of your life. And this is how I'll help you stabilize what's going on so that you have a nice, strong platform to then leap into what's a variable or what stress might come your way or what is changing. Because if 98% things are solid, the 2% that change, you've got what it takes to adjust and respond to those. So when stress comes your way, now realize you can add categories to this list. You can adjust the topics to fit your situation. This is just a starting point. So here are the questions that you're going to be asking yourself. And if you've got the printout, what I'd like you to do is think, if you don't need to worry about this, you've nailed it, you got it 100%, then write 100% in the line that's preceding the comment. And we'll start with this one. Say this to you yourself in your own head, in your own mind, and listen with your heart and your inner voice. I have clear steps to create the life that is meaningful and important to me. I have deeply considered how my life lines up with my values and priorities. So, if you feel like your life is out of alignment with what's important to you, then this percent might be 10% or 2% or 20%. If you've already gone through the life worth living process, you may have the clear steps to create the life that's meaningful and important to you, but maybe something has thrown you for a loop, and so you're reevaluating all of this. That number might be higher, 75, 85, 90. Maybe you nailed it and you're just confirming that I got this. All right, so you're going to put a percent in that category. And there's no judgment on any of it. It's really just a starting point so we know where to move from. Okay, the next one. Here it is. And ask this to yourself in your head, and you can pause the video if you need time to think. I have secured all the financial and legal requirements, and I've updated all my end-of-life documents and plans. So I am now have the reputation of somebody who brings up the hard subjects. No subject is taboo with me. And it's, oh, is your will up to date is not, it's not an everyday conversation. At the same time, it's a really valuable conversation to have with yourself because it's a gift to those you leave behind. And it's also a legacy that you can create. And whether you've got beneficiaries lined up, or if it's just you and you can help decide your purpose on the planet. So the question is, what percent confidence do you have that you've secured all the financial and legal requirements and updated all your end-of-life documents and plans? And I've got easy access to a lot of those that don't cost anything. So don't let money, budget, revenue, resource, or an expert be what stops you here. So is it 10%? Is it 90%? Where are you at in there? Okay, the next one. I've got the resources and the right people in place to help propel me toward my goals and dreams and support my loved ones' success in theirs. Now, again, it might just be that you're doing this for you, and that is perfect. It might be that you have a family that you are the caretaker for, of any age. You might be caring for parents, friends, loved ones, children, whatever it is. So if you've got the resources and the right people in place to help propel you toward your goals and dreams and support your loved ones' success in theirs, then that's 100%. If you got half of it, 45, 50%, where are you at? And wherever you're at is fine. Okay, the next one. Ready? I'm sure of my health, and I'm a role model for others in my self-care regime. Because it's one thing to be, genetically, I got it going on. It's another that you're maintaining that. I have a healthy regime established for myself and my loved ones, in case you care for others. I nourish myself physically, emotionally, and spiritually, however you do that. So, is that something that you really need to work on? 10%, 20%, 5%? Or you're certain you've got this. You eat right, you keep fit, you've got the downtime, you're surrounded by loved ones, and on a daily, weekly, monthly, annual basis, you understand the rhythms that things go through for you. So put a percent confidence that you got this in that section. Okay, I'm sure I and my loved ones are moving through grief, trauma, and loss in a healthy way, and I have support systems in place to guide us on successful trajectories unique to each of you. Again, pause this video if you need to think it through, but are you stuck in grief? Determine how grief will either hold you back or propel you forward when you're honoring what what treasure grief holds for you. So, where are you at in moving through grief, trauma, loss, and transitions in big adverse scenarios? All right, here we go. I am surrounded by the right people and activities to guide me, and I can help others. I know how to address changes in relationships and how to develop new relationships. So this one is relationship oriented. And you're going to put whatever percent confident. 2%, 50%, 75%. I'm surrounded by the right people and activities to guide me, and I can help others. It's another super growing point when you are a mentor to others. I know how to address changes in relationships. I call that recalibrating relationships, when people lean in or step away, and how to develop new relationships. What percent confidence do you have? And then the last question, I find time to have fun and diversion doing things I love that replenish my energy so I can enjoy a life worth living. Because we got one good, precious life that we're aware of. And we want to make sure you're living it well, each moment of it, each day of it. You want to wake up each day excited about it, each week, each month, each year, each developmental phase and stage. What percent confidence do you have that you are finding time to have the fun and diversion doing things you love that replenish your energy so you can enjoy a life worth living? Okay. Brilliant job. That's the exercise right there. So what I'd like you to do now is take a look at that sheet and figure out which of those things has the lowest confidence assessment. And that's where we're going to work first, because that's probably the area where we're going to strengthen your weaknesses. Now, the area with the highest number, and you may have more than one, those are the areas where we're going to stretch your strengths, because what you've got going on is already stabilized. We're going to use that as the springboard for it. Well done. That's a big exercise. It's a great starting point. Here's the secret. You want to know the secret? At the end of this program, we're going to do this exercise again and see how much you've grown through the life worth living process. And that's how you can quantify how exciting this process is for you. All right, here we go. I'm going to take you through a little bit of this process. Still in module 1, the first step, of course, is deciding to move forward, which if you're at this point in the video, woo-ha, you've done it. Here we go. In fact, you've got your confidence assessment in place. You know where you're stabilized the most, and you know what needs to find immediate support. And that's how we address grief in a healthy way. Because if you can adjust your relationship with grief, and you can, again, maybe it's grief, maybe it's PTSD, maybe, so that's post-traumatic stress disorder. In many cases, this stress that you're experiencing, or this trauma, you're still experiencing it. So how do you address this trauma, this stress, in such a way that you don't feel like it's leaving you behind, and that it's got a hold on you? And I say, from my experience, grief was making it difficult to drive my car, because I would cry and my eyes were blurry. Stress and trauma and grief would stop me from what I was trying to get accomplished, and slam my head against the wall at when I least expected it, and drop me to the kitchen floor, and it would put its foot on my neck and prevent me from breathing or seeing my future. And nobody needs that. You don't need to live like that anymore. And the way to move through that is to understand, what does grief or stress or this trauma hold for you that you are treasuring so tightly that you're worried that if you let go of it, you might lose the part that you treasure? And if you do that, what happens is it has a hold on you, and it may be holding you back. So the way to adjust your relationship with that incredible emotion is to identify what you treasure within it and find ways to honor that. Is it by doing something active? Is it by journaling? Is it by art? Is it by visiting? Is it by doing good for others? Is it by doing something that whatever that situation was that had a hold on you, that you're honoring that in some way? Is it that we're going to let go of that so that that emotion can help move you forward and you can find joy because you have the permission to laugh and it is okay to have fun? We want that for you. Everyone wants that for you. You want that for you. And you're the only one who can make it all right to do it. It's okay to live a good life again. All right. If you don't, you get stuck in anxiety. But what is this? This word anxiety, even in saying it, it sounds so complex. But let's break it down. Anxiety is your body's response to a big stress event. So, okay, fine. But what is stress then? Stress is your body feels it in pressure or tension. So that's the way you physically experience stress. And anxiety is your body's response to stress. So let's walk through, how do you move through anxiety? All right. So this is a great mindset tool that you can use for any and every situation. And as I walk you through it, you can pause or listen to the whole thing and pause it and take 10 minutes, set the timer for 10 minutes, no more. And then do this exercise in something that's affecting you right now so that you can see how it works. And when you do it enough, I would encourage you to do one of these every single day so that they come naturally to you. And then your brain will do the work and you won't be stuck in anxiety anymore. It's amazing. It's an amazing trick. Here we go. Think of a situation that is causing you anxiety. And what I'd like you to do is figure out one piece of that that is a fact. So that's the detail of your circumstance that's measurable, qualitative, quantifiable, that if you presented it in a court of law, no one would say it was an opinion. It would be a fact. And I'm going to give an example. Well, I have plenty of people come to me and they say when they wake up in the morning, they feel sad. And the fact is that they're feeling sad because there used to be a partner in bed with them, and that person is gone. So the fact is they're waking up in the morning and that person is gone. The thought that follows that is the next sentence I'd like you to write out for you, your circumstance. In the example I'm giving you, the person is gone, and the thought is, I feel sad. I miss that person. So the thought is, I miss that person. The fact is, the person is gone. The thought is, I miss that person. The emotion, the one word emotion that is a description of a feeling, the person is gone. I miss that person. Sad. I feel sad. And then here's where things get fun. What is your behavior in response to the person is missing? I feel sad. It's your action, your inaction, or your reaction. So it could be, I wake up in the morning, the person's not there, I miss that person, I feel sad, and my action could then be, I stay in bed. It could be inaction. Well, I guess that would be inaction if I stayed in bed. My action could be, I get up anyway and I take a bunch of pills. This is not me, by the way. I take a bunch of pills. I go in the bathroom and cry. I get up because the dogs are bugging me. I'm thinking of things that people have told me in a very similar scenario. So those would be actions. Inaction would be, I just stay in bed and try to go to sleep, and I can't get out of bed, and then put the covers over my head and just try to go back to sleep. Or a reaction is I curl up into a fetal position and I cry, or I'm getting involved in risky and dangerous behaviors because I don't want, that person is missing in my bed. I feel sad, so I want to escape that. And then what's the outcome? The outcome in all of those scenarios I gave you is they either stay in bed, they get involved in risky or dangerous behaviors, they going through the motions in life as if it's like the air is thick and time is thick, and they're just not having any fun. Life's not worth living. Well, all we need to do in this exercise, so if you've paused this and you've done your own mindset exercise, the person in my bed is missing. I miss that person. Sad. I stay in bed. The outcome is I'm missing out on my life. All right, so now we need to change just one thing, just one click pivot, I call it. And in this case, one of my favorite things to suggest is when I wake up in the morning, I'm missing my person, I feel sad, I change the behavior. That's where I go. And the behavior can change to, last night I set an intention of what I get to do today. It's giving me a purpose to wake up and get up and make the bed so I don't get back into it. Maybe that's the action. Maybe it's I have made an appointment to go for a hike with a friend. Maybe I have I'm making phone calls to the top 3 people I love today to build my advisory board. So all you need to do is change one thing so that when you wake up in the morning, the person is missing, I feel sad, or my person is missing, I feel sad. I'm going to change the behavior. I need to get up and make the bed so I don't get back into it. Or I'm looking forward to getting up and making the bed so that I can go for a hike with my friend today. That's something to look forward to. That changes the outcome from staying in bed and staying in sad to getting up and having a raison d'être, a reason for being. Okay, so there's a million different ways to go through this exercise. Just stick with facts, thoughts, one sentence thoughts, one word emotion. Is your behavior an action, an inaction, or a reaction? And what's the outcome? When it's really clear, you can change one thing and see how it changes the outcome. Okay, 10 minutes. Check back in with me after 10. Here we go. All right. Now, once you've got that mindset equation in place, it gives you the substantial base to move through adversity. And what we want to do is be better at responding to stress because it could save your life. Professor Kelly McGonigal at Stanford leads up, one of the programs that she led up was the science of willpower. And willpower is defined as when given 2 options, taking the harder choice. And when you're facing stress, it is hard to have enough willpower to get through things. So what I'm going to show you now is ways to check in with yourself emotionally in your brain and physically in your body, because changing your attitude towards stress will change the way that your body responds to it and make you more resilient when you're facing adversity. So when you've got this big stress experience happening, what goes on in your brain is that your pituitary gland pumps out this cuddle drug called oxytocin. And it actually is this hormone that makes you reach out to gain help. Like, I guess that's why we yell help when we're in a traumatic situation. We're calling for backup. We're calling for support from our community in that regard. Physically, when you're faced with stress, what happens in your body. If you're not aware of it, now's the time to start becoming aware of it when there are little stresses that happen. Do you tense up and get rigid? Do your palms sweat? Does your heart race? Because listen up, if you know that when you tense up and your heart races and your palms sweat when you're facing stress, and you know this is the way that your body is preparing for fight, flight, or freeze scenarios, it will actually pump out this oxytocin hormone that acts as an anti-inflammatory. It strengthens your heart, literally giving it the ability to heal from stress-induced damage, and it helps your blood vessels stay relaxed during stress. The key is knowing that when these physical changes happen within you, you need your inner voice to say, I'm preparing for a serious, event. Probably not the tiger chasing you in the caveman times, but it's, if you're feeling fight, flight, or freeze, and you need your inner voice to be able to say, this is the way my body is responding to this, so that I can be strong enough to handle whatever's coming. And I'm going to show you the most amazing example of this. This is my daughter in her first roller coaster ride. And she was very excited for this new phase in her life. She wanted to scream like a little girl. So this is what she got to do. And it's really easy to watch what's happening. We're on the roller coaster. This is my daughter screaming like a little girl, and she practices. This is what it's about. This is her expectation. She's excited. She can practice screaming like a little girl until she gets to the precipice of this first climb, and she realizes what she's really up against. That creates trepidation, fear, a loss of control, and all the things we talked about at the beginning of this seminar. And then what happens? You can almost see her inner voice. She gains her sense of self, and her inner voice says, I did this on purpose. I know what my body's doing.
Is that fun?
Uh-huh. And her inner voice directed the outcome. My body was preparing me for this. I'm good. I got this. So it's a really lovely example of how she developed the resilience to get through that adverse scenario. So I work with a very good friend of mine, Dr. Adam Dorsey, who's a licensed psychologist, and we talked about different things that people can do to develop resilience. One of my favorites, because it's easier for us to help other people than it is to help ourselves. So to make the leap from anxiety to courage, ask yourself, what would your hero do? And take this moment to figure out, who is your hero? Who's your mentor, alive or dead? And maybe it's Einstein, maybe it's Madame Curie, maybe it's an astronaut. Who's your superhero? Because if you're feeling anxious and you need to feel courageous, and you've already got that person in place in your head, you're going to circle back in your head and think, I know what my grandparent would do in this situation. And that gives you insight that you may not have had otherwise. The serenity prayer, the difference between knowing what you have control over that affects you in your life and what you don't, is super relevant because it clears out the riffraff, and we have an exercise for that. And it gives you focus. The gratitude playlist, making sure every morning or every moment that you're acknowledging what is good in your experience. Comedy, of course, gives you a chance to unwind and relax. Loneliness is not a choice, but being alone is. And it's really important to be able to make that first connection to reach out to other people. They need you as much as you need them. So these are the ways that you can identify the actual factual problems, which help to make the solutions super easy and low drama. So I'm taking you from this problem to leap to the solution. That's what we're doing with these exercises. And here's another exercise you can do. This one is about how to clear your mind clutter. And this is a lot to do with the Serenity Prayer. And you can print this out, and I've created it so you can use the whole page. And put in that big circle, or even outside the circle, the things that affect you that you cannot control, or maybe the ones that you cannot control right now. In the next smaller circle, what you can control. And in that middle circle, what you can address right now. Maybe it's a micro movement. Maybe it's just being courageous enough to open the mail. Maybe it's making the decision to actually pause this video for 10 minutes and do the exercise. It's going to help you clear the mind clutter so you know what to address and you don't end up grinding on a topic you can't control. If there's something that you can't control right now, but you can in the future, you can put a date on it as to when you're supposed to worry about that. That's a good clue. All right. That's going to give you some structure. The next exercise, again, give yourself 10 minutes, just pause the video and write about how to step into your future identity. And the way to do this is to do a similar exercise as the one we did before of who you used to be. And I used to be a baby, a teenager, a kid, a student, an employee. I used to be a daughter, a mother. I used to be a wife. I used to be a partner. And then who are you now? And you can put, like, I guess I could put daughter, mother in that circle, because not only am I that now, but it is what I used to be. And who are you becoming? So at one point when I did this exercise, I became competent guide for others. And I loved when my client said, your foresight gives me, or your hindsight gives me foresight, because it demonstrated to me that I am a competent guide for others. So I got to put a star on who I am becoming in that regard. So take 10 minutes, no more than 10. Anything beyond that is not going to give you the information, further information you need. All right, so this is the brainstorm that's going to help you figure all of this out, the message in the bottle. Okay. The next exercise is super fun, and this is all about core values, and it's going to help you create your superpower skills. And if you print out this exercise worksheet, it has so many values on it, be it responsibility, accountability, family, personal time, community time, all these different core values. And you can put your own on there. We're not limited to this. And the way to do the exercise is to circle all the ones that are super meaningful to you. And that part's easy. The part that's hard is that I would like you to come up with your 5 top values. So pause the video, print it out, do the exercise, and come back with your 5 core values. And when you do that, I'll be back. Okay, you must be back. All right, you've got your 5 core values, and these tend to be superhero skills that you have, superpowers. Sometimes it's easier to reflect off others what your superpowers might be. But if you want to put these and, highlight them somewhere in your house where you would see them, they're going to help you create your vision and make sure that your values are in alignment with the steps we're going to put in place to help you get to where you want to go. And if they're going to be the reminders, they're going to be the bumpers, the boundaries, that you want to stay in alignment with your core values as you're creating your future. Okay, a couple more things on developing resilience and relationshiping, I call it. Don't panic. No need to panic now. Check in with yourself physically, and we've talked about how to do that. Take a deep breath. The best, fastest tip that you can do, taking a good deep breath is going to cool your brain down. It's going to transition any decisions you need to make from the back of your brain to your prefrontal cortex. And that's where all your good decision making happens. So if you can only take one breath, that's the only thing you have time for, it's worth the time to stabilize yourself first. And going through these steps helps you to assess what's true, separate rumor from reality, process your own anxiety first. Now you've got the exercise tool to process your own anxiety first, and you can help someone else in a similar way by listening to what they understand and what they're saying behind the words they're choosing. And of course, to explain things in a way that's appropriate to them given the circumstance. Keep to the facts and avoid opinions. If you're relationshiping with yourself or others, it's important to provide structure and have some predictability. That's why we want to create this vision so that you know where you're going and there's a whole bunch of things that are stable. Now, here's the reality. If you have a target and things change enough that you need to change your vision board, that's fine. It's more important that you set that target in place so you have something to go toward. Otherwise, it's too easy to get distracted, and then you lose the budget of time, money, resource, energy going into different directions, and that's how you feel like you're not getting anywhere. So give yourself that goal, and I will show you how to make a vision board so that you can find the fun along the way. That structure allows for creativity. If you have 90% of what you've got, what you desire in place, the 10% variability is much easier to handle. If you're looking to connect with someone else and play, one of the best things you can do is learn something new together and build community, however the world allows that to happen, so that you two can have abundant energy and not have the energy drained out, because you know you don't have to change everything. You only need to change one small thing at a time. It makes it so much easier to make positive changes. So with that, take what you need from all of this, leave the rest behind, and we can talk about how to identify and deal with other people's issues, but realize that right now you really are working on your own. Okay, so we've talked about all of these things, and I'll leave us here. Oh, I know what we want to do. There's 2 more exercises that have been attached with this module, and one is talking with your 100-year-old self. And this is how you can set up your vision board. You want to talk to the right person, and you've actually more invested in who you are than anyone else in the world. So rather than reaching out to someone with their own circumstances, why don't you talk to you, the future you? So you can literally put a chair in front of you, or, just meditate on this. And if you were having a conversation, a little sit down with your 100-year-old self, what would that version of you tell you? Good job, well done. I realize this was hard. What are the words that you would tell yourself? And take a moment to write those down. And now the other exercise is to create a vision board. And I've attached instructions on how to go to the free version of Canva at canva.com. And you can literally create your own vision board that way and put the things that are attractive to you. And that way you've got a visual reminder. You can put your 5 core values in there. You can put your identity roles of who you wish to become in there. See, I had a secret for doing all these exercises. You can write down the things that you are capable of getting accomplished right now. So there's how you can make your vision board. And with that, you will have completed module 1. Excellent work. I'll see you in module 2.